All right, welcome to the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Powers, and joining me today we have Steven.
Moosh Mooshy.
Chase.
G'day.
And Rachel.
Dark greetings.
Yes, and I'm not sure if I actually said it, but this is episode 149. I am just scatterbrained. It's been a long, long day. I will say at the beginning of this, I know we don't dive into this stuff normally, but there's only a few days left to vote if you're in the United States, and it is incredibly important that you do so. Like for a lot of people, need to vote, get it done. So yeah, that will be how we start off the show today. Because at this point, it is what, November 2nd? So yeah, just got a few more days. I think Tuesday in the United States.
Election day is a coming.
Yep. And we need to make sure we get this shit sorted out. So between that, we'll go ahead and talk about what we've been doing. And also before that, we are not going to have a show next week. I didn't have an extra quarter lined up at the moment, so we're just going to bypass the week anyways. I have to be somewhere, and I don't think you guys want to do the show without me because I'd still have to log in. I'd be okay with it, though.
It's our once every couple of months break.
Yeah. It usually just kind of happens.
Welcome to Steven's Path.
Okay, now I have to give him the login. This has to happen. Rachel will be off doing something else, and then I'll be off somewhere else.
There's a Nintendo extra quarter with just me.
I will likely be consuming copious amounts of mead, or recovering from consuming copious amounts of mead at a Ren Fair. So,
with our luck, watch Nintendo finally announce the freaking Switch 2 next week. So it's like Steven and Chase are at their house. Chris is having to call in from somewhere else because we make him do it. Rachel's slightly hungover, and I'm like on a phone trying to stream in from like a restaurant, going like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" All right. Before we talk about what we could be doing, let's finally find out what we have been doing. And Steven, let's start with you. What you been doing?
Oh boy, I got so much new stuff. Well, I will actually start with new stuff. So I did finish Agatha All Along.
It was so good.
It was so good.
It was a good two-parter. It basically, some people wanted it to be self-contained, and I said no, not with Vision Quest coming. You need that to be like the part of the trilogy. I think.
Oh yeah, with the ending, I was like season two.
Well, Agatha's always been connected to different parts of the Marvel universe, like not just the movies, but like the comic books as well as her original character. But I'm not going to spoil anything, but I kind of want to say and see if you guys agree. It was
Agatha all along.
Yeah, it felt like the second to last episode was the actual finale. And then the last episode was kind of like an after credits or epilogue to the whole thing that kind of branched it over, which is not a bad thing. It just, that's how it felt to me, which explains why they aired them at the same time.
For me, it was the M. Night Shyamalan episode.
So for me, it was like, okay, they couldn't fit all this content into one episode because of, I don't know, rules and maybe how many episodes.
Make the episode however long you want.
Or, well, I mean, they might have some kind of contract weird. You never know.
I never know.
So they're like, oh, well, let's just, do 2 episodes then. We have enough here. And they're like, yeah. So that's probably exactly what happened.
The other thing I want to point out that I was absolutely super happy to see, Brent sent me this as well. Rio's makeup, like her effect.
Oh yeah,
but that's all practical.
Practical
effects.
All
practical, which is great.
I love Hollywood right now because I'm seeing a slow shift back to adding practical effects into film, which I think they're realizing is one, it's more impressive. That is the most important thing. And then 2, usually it's cheaper. So
CG can be really good. There's very good effects for it, but it is also a good use to enhance existing practical effects, which is great.
Like, and I say, that's what you should be using CG for, because it'll look more realistic if you use a practical effect and then you just enhance it and smooth things over and make things look a little cleaner with CG, because back in the day, film quality wasn't that great, so you could kind of hide some scuzzy bits with makeup and practical effects and all that. You can't do that now.
I still think like characters like the Hulk and Thanos were smart to make them CG, but anyways, Steven, continue. We've ranted off about Hollywood and makeup effects. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I haven't finished it. I think there's 2 episodes now. I talked about it last episode. I got to catch up with Yakuza, which so far has been disappointing.
I haven't even started it.
I haven't started it.
They haven't played the games, and they're just like, here's a story. But they do the trope I really hate, and they keep jumping back and forth. Like 1 year, 1 day ago, 6 days ago, 3 years ago, 1 week later. And I'm like, stop.
That can be done if it's done right, but it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, Agatha kind of did it right.
And then Chase and his girlfriend and I finished another For the King scenario. We did the islands. We already did the dungeons. We did a snow land before that. So we're almost done with all the scenarios, getting ready for the King 2. We logged in for Helldivers Day, where they gave you a Call of Duty style weapon from the 1940s called the Constitution.
They didn't give it to me, weirdly enough. I got all the armors, never got the gun, and we played
If
together
you're
on the same day.
a PC player, you don't have the PSN requirement, so they just took it out. No, I don't know.
that would be such a dick move on their part.
Sounds about right.
I've also, since it just came out, I downloaded the Pokemon trading card game for mobile, which has now broken the record for the most money made for a Nintendo and Pokemon company in 48 hours. You do eventually get to trade in battle. Trade is coming soon. Battle, you have to do enough of the guides and tutorials first. But right now, I'm having a blast just opening 2 packs a day because you get stamina, and then you just open another pack of cards, and the cards look so beautiful on your phone screen. And just the collecting aspect of seeing how many cards you can get,
I'm gonna have to get
kind of nice.
Try it out.
And then because of that type of game, of course, we always go back to ZZZ and Multiverses, still grinding away. However, Multiverses decided to get a little controversial now, because for Halloween, they did something amazing, which they did crossover skins where characters dress up as other characters from other series they've never been in. So it's kind of neat to see like Jason Voorhees as Finn from Adventure Time, Banana Guard as Marvin the Martian, stuff like that. But there's 3 ones that definitely stand out. Is you can play as Clark Kent instead of Superman. You can play as Bruce Wayne with his jacket, and yes, Kevin Conroy did his Bruce voice instead for that. So I was like, wow, they must have known they were going to do that way in advance.
I need to play that just for Batman alone.
And then they did Harleen Quinzel. So they did the Doctor before, Harley Quinn. However, they are known as, those 3 costumes are known as elusive variants, which means as soon as the event is over, they will not be purchasable until they come back one day.
Oh shit!
They're while everything else is still available to buy from all the other events, these are the first ones that people aren't happy about because they're making them elusive. So you can't buy them with any type of currency. You have to earn them in game or spend a lot of money to get the currency to get the candy to get it. So it's more elusive, saying like, hurry up, you got 7 days to do it type thing. So that I didn't like. But it is what it is. I'm at least going to try to get Harleen Quinzel at least.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to get it. All right, Rachel, we will start with you next. And this first game you have listed, I really, really want to know how it's going for you so far.
So I feel like there should be more narrative things going on in the game so far.
I want to say what game it is.
Sonic Generations. But also like that's just because I'm very much used to a certain like not metric format, certain format with Sonic games, and at least the 3D ones, and it's there. It's just I feel like there should be a little more substance to it, and maybe I just haven't gotten to the meat of it yet. But I'm enjoying the gameplay.
Did you ever play Generations previously when it was on like 360 PS3?
So I played the 3DS version, which is a vastly different version.
It is. It's more 2D, but same amount of story basically.
Now that's not to say I'm not enjoying it. I mean, it's a Sonic game. Of course I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm also still in the section where it's all very more classic Sonic than anything else. Gotcha. So I'm hoping that once I get to the, Sonic Adventure 2 type levels where that's more of the content that I'm familiar with. Mm-hmm. So it might be a little bit more. But all I know is that playing this game is making me want them to remaster more Sonic games onto the Switch. So why haven't they done that? Sega, please answer me. Let's do a multi-pack of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the Switch.
I was gonna say, like, what's left? And I was like, oh, just Sonic Adventure.
Like, let's do those, and then if we're gonna put more GameCube games on there, why not do Sonic Heroes K? I'm just saying. And since Shadow is so popular now, just put the silly, goofy Shadow the Hedgehog game on there.
I did read, for people who are wondering, that the Switch version does run at a nicely locked 30 frames. Mm-hmm. And if you play it on the other systems, it's 60 frames. So it's whatever you're used to.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even notice the difference.
Well, I was just like, it's good that they perform great on both systems.
Oh yeah, no, it's performing great, but
as long as it's smooth, it doesn't bother me that much.
But
it's just a tease that you collect Chow stuff and there's no Chow Garden.
That's just wrong.
It really is. It really is. I think they just need to do a Chow Garden.
Sega, release an app. Just call it Chow Garden, and everybody will download it.
Listen, yes, Chow Garden app, absolutely. I would do it. I would download that so fast, I wouldn't even know that I would have downloaded it. It would just magically appear on my phone.
I still have it on the Game Boy Advance from the GameCube games.
Yeah, but anyway, the that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to let's just start sending Sega emails suggesting that they put the following things on Switch, since they're looking for filler between now and whatever they're doing with the secondary Switch 2, whatever the hell it's called. So there we are, but I'm still playing it. Like, I also got Romancing Saga 2 in the mail, but I have not played that yet.
Did you get it? So did you get that ironed out with GameStop?
I went in there, actually when my best friend Jim was visiting, we were coming home, we went and got Korean barbecue, and he was bringing me home. And I said, hey, can we stop at GameStop for a while? And he goes, oh, are you going to yell at them? And I go, no. But I'm going to explain to whoever's there what happened. And I'm going to cancel the 2 pre-orders and then put that amount on a pre-order I already have. And he goes, oh, I'm going to get to see you be a little mean though, aren't I? And I go, yep. And he goes, yay.
That looks bad at the end of the day. You lost 2 reserves.
Yep. So I literally went in there and I go, hi, I'd like to cancel 2 pre-orders. And he goes, oh my gosh, do you want to, he's like, is everything all right? Do you want to put them on some new ones? And I said, well, and then I said, well, someone sold my game and the other one, y'all don't know where it is. So I'm just gonna, I've ordered them on Amazon. So I'm just gonna cancel these and put them onto existing pre-order I have. And he's like, and he was super apologetic. This guy was like, oh my God, because he's seen me in there before. This is a completely different dude.
Who should I fire? Who bought this?
Like, he literally was like,
mind you, will the receipt have a survey? They don't like that.
He was genuinely shocked, because he's like, oh my God, like, he's like, why would they do that to you? You're the nicest person, like, that comes through this store. And I'm like, yeah, if it keeps happening, I'm fixing not to be. And he was like, I don't blame you. Oh my God. And he's also new to the company. Right. And I was like, be better than your other people. And he's like, I will be. Oh my goodness. He's like, I wouldn't want you to be mad at me. And I was like, no, you do not. But yeah, so we got that sorted out. My copy of Romancing Saga arrived from Amazon, but Ease Nordics is going to arrive on Monday. it just took forever to actually ship out, which was interesting.
At least it's on the way. That's
Oh,
better
yeah.
than it was before, because before you were just like, where is it?
It's sitting in it's in Florida. It's in Davenport right now. So
okay.
it's not that far. So it's gonna be here Monday, unless it just decides to magically show up tomorrow. But who knows? And we've already talked about Agatha all along. I absolutely loved the soundtrack for it. Loved all of the like wardrobe choices.
I was about to say, this is one of the first shows I'm just like, I really like the costume design because they got so creative for every little part of it. Like, it's so good.
It was so delightful seeing Agatha back in her like her garb that she was first shown in, and I was like, oh yes, it just makes me want to cosplay her even more. But then her outfit at the end when she looks,
spoilers.
Yeah. I'm not gonna spoil it, but with the way her hair looked and that whole get up, I was like, I want to do that.
It's
even
very
more.
Comic book reference, actually.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
have to find
absolutely.
the art and send it to you, but I was like, oh, I know where that's coming from. That's cool.
I was like, sign me up, Buttercup.
I also like that. If you didn't watch it, this isn't really a spoiler, but when the kid is in his bedroom, you can basically just see all the properties Disney owns.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, look, honey, it's a Disney production, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah, like they literally was like, which properties can we use in here that are going to be in some
off-brand Goonies?
Yeah,
in there.
Well, it's like what properties that we own or we have the rights to that we can use in this this teenage boy's bedroom that we don't have to pay money to anyone to stick a poster in there. That's literally someone's job. That was someone's job, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the same person who like during the credits had to make sure to put The Craft, Simpsons.
Yep.
Just all the witches they've ever had in their series.
Yeah.
Yep. Which properties can we use that are ours or we have the rights to? I love it.
Well, I did find it funny, and this is kind of like behind the scenes thing, but they had to dance around the rights with the Wizard of Oz because the figurines they had, the few that they showed and everything, they legally can because Wizard of Oz is public domain for the original story. But for anything related to the movies, that's still owned by another company that we know. So they had to make it just different enough to be able to use it without being exactly the same, which is why when you look at their costumes during that episode, there's little extra things added and certain things changed, which I thought that was kind of funny to find out about. But, yeah.
I could say some things about the Wizard of Oz stuff and the costume choice for the Wicked Witch of the West, but I'm not gonna. I'll talk about that later.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I know they had to change certain things to not make it the same. That's why, like the lace on the hat and all that. But yeah, we'll talk about it later.
There's some things for sure. But yeah, no, costumes were honestly really on point for the entire thing. And Patty put her entire existence into that role, by the way.
Yeah,
like
you pay for Patty for a reason, and it paid off on that episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was just like, I think she became my favorite out of all of them.
I'm sure she's loving the new attention. Like a whole new generation of people are getting into her stuff.
There's actually a petition going that they want Disney to release the tarot cards, and a tease to everybody who does watch it on streaming. Even though it shows it on their shop channel, on the streaming service, no, you cannot buy the Agatha mouse ears. They're not even listed on the site. They're just at the parks only. And I was like, why would you do that? My wife wants that.
What? No, go on the Disney Parks merchandise. Like there's literally a Disney Parks.
I literally went to the QR code they give you to buy them, and all you see is Scarlet Witch.
They might be sold out. Hold on. Because I thought that those were specifically made for her. Like, I don't think they're like.
Well, they show that off to like go to the Disney store and get exclusive merchandise, and they literally show those mouse ears to get my wife all like, heated to get those because
we'll look that stuff up in a little bit
she's
after the
Wiccan,
show.
so she adored the whole series.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna look.
The music and all the stuff, but
do you want to finish? Do you want to finish your stuff? Then we can search afterwards.
Yeah. But anyway, What We Do in the Shadows, I'm also watching that. So if you guys didn't know, it is on its last season.
Wait, has the last season started?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know. Oh, Amanda's gonna be so happy. I did not know that. Oh shit. We were waiting to hear when it started. We thought it wasn't gonna be till next year for the final season.
Yeah, it's but yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I can already tell that it's I'm gonna feel very bittersweet when it does end because it's one of my favorite shows on television right now. And so when and it's become a very big kind of part of just the fandoms and universes that I absolutely adore. And I'm gonna be one of those types of people that when it does end, I'm gonna be like, well, hell, what in the heck do I do with my life now for a little bit? Because that show was actively airing new episodes.
They're having a side conversation in the chat while trying to talk.
Yeah, but they were one of the few shows that was actively airing new episodes when the whole world was shut down. So it was very nice to have some new content to consume while the whole world was on fire. So that was good. And so now here we are, almost 5 years later. And now the show is ending, so it kind of feels like the end of something. And just the characters are so excellent, and I can't wait to see how they actually end the show. And I have been told it ends happily, which is good. So
I'll have to let Amanda know about that tonight. She'll be happy because how many episodes are they in? Is it just the first one, or?
I think there are 4 or 5 episodes in right now.
Oh wow!
Because they dropped the first 3 on Hulu.
Sweet.
When the episodes dropped, and then now they're doing a new episode each week following. So I think they're on episode 4. I think the 5th one airs on Monday. So
we'll have to get caught up next week when she's not going to be off again until Tuesday. So awesome. Yeah. All right. So Chase, we'll move on to you next. What have you been doing, my friend?
About halfway through Astrobot.
Good game.
Yeah, really good game. Enjoy it. Just taking my time with it because I've seen a lot of stuff helping Chanel out and stuff. But I'm enjoying it for what it is. Recently reconnected with one of my mates from the UK not that long ago. Yesterday, in fact, he is a big Warhammer fan. I said, please tell me you've been playing Space Marine 2. He's like, oh, you know it. So then we actually got to link up for a couple of operations runs and stuff. So that was pretty cool. Nice. Because of my newfound reinvigoration for Warhammer, I've been replaying some of the old Warhammer games. So I cracked open Battle Sector, which is a really good game if anybody likes turn-based strategy. It's a fun game. I've played Helldivers 2 with the boys on Liberty Day, and it was fun. It's fun getting back into it. It seems like the community's been busy since I've been gone with the hiatus. As people have been building some big ass space station, and there's some giant fart cloud over on the other side of the galaxy, and I was like, "Holy crap, what's going on?"
Tentacles coming out of the ground.
Oh yeah, there was that too. I thought at one point, at one point, one bug made Swan the main character of a hentai. It was pretty hilarious.
Oh my god.
I may or may not have assisted.
He just kept screaming, "It's the damn tentacles again!"
So, yeah, we won't talk about if there was any potential friendly fire incident in that whole thing as well. But anyway, so
I think I knocked you over on accident I stepped on you once with a mech. I backed up and didn't realize you were there and stepped on you. I knocked you over another time while you were calling in a strike. So you just dropped the strike and you're like, y'all might want to go. And it bombed us to death.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Finished another journey with Swan and Shinoa and For the King. Swan mentioned that.
That was close. We almost died.
Yeah, that was.
Dang.
Oh god, our misfortunes were stacking up. Like
they really picked on us towards the end.
Yeah, they were. That game was really gutted for us, but we get it. We did it. It was great. And I've downloaded, haven't played, but I've downloaded Black Ops 6. First Call of Duty I'm going to try since the Modern Warfare remake. So
nice.
When I used to play pretty often with some of my workmates back in corrections.
My thing to do is I want to beat the campaign and then delete the campaign and put zombies on there, because I was like, these things are huge.
Yeah. I had to make choices with that one.
Yeah, I just did the game, the base content, and the extra content pack. I didn't do any of like the Modern Warfare 2 or the Modern Warfare 3 stuff.
Gotcha.
So,
all right. So for me, well, I guess I'll just jump right in with Call of Duty Black Ops 6, because for that one, I did download everything, but I went ahead and just made the call and was like, I'm really sorry, Flight Simulator, you got to go for now, because that was like 120 gigs, which gave me some space.
And it updates every day for like more gigs.
Yeah. So Black Ops 6 is on there. I played through the first couple of missions and I was having a lot of fun, but I haven't had much time to play it since then, so I only got to do the preliminary mission. But I really like that. I also picked up Silent Hill 2 Remake at the same time. So my PS5, I got to turn it on, wait for it to update, and then update more stuff, and then wait to install it. And I have to say, though, Silent Hill 2, that's a really good game. Like,
they surprised everybody, which it's happy to know that maybe next time you should give Bluebird Team some credit.
I've given them credit. Like, I've absolutely loved the medium. I streamed it, played the entire thing. I thought it was a fantastic game and was happy to hear they were doing other stuff.
So now you have to get all 8 endings for Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'll play it. I'll enjoy it. I'm not getting that many endings. I don't think I've ever finished a game that many times.
Nobody's Chris, yeah.
Speaking of Chris, I did start playing Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. That was at the urging of my son, because I finally finished The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I didn't 100% it, but I was like, all right, it's about time to go ahead and end this. I'll go back and do the rest of it later. But
do you have a death count for SMT?
I don't think I have a death count yet. I did find out the hard way that it doesn't autosave at all after I lost a couple of hours of gameplay, when it was like, hey, we're going to introduce you to the fact that you can win a fight and then more people will show up. And that can happen multiple times until they grind you to death. And I was like, what the hell? And when it popped back up, it's like me first entering the area. And I was like, son of a bitch. So I told Jeremy, I was like, I almost stopped playing it right there. And I was like, no, he wants me to play it. I'm trying to go through it. I'm about 4 hours in, according to the clock. I guess technically about 6 hours in, if I'm counting the time I lost. I'm enjoying it, though. It's definitely different. I'm hoping I can stick with it better. He kind of tells me it's a grindy game that goes on for a while. I'm guessing Chris has not been on Discord much, because I messaged him and mentioned it as well, and he said nothing. And I was like, it's Shin Megami Tensei. I thought he'd be excited.
He's deep into Metaphor. Deep.
That's true. I'm still trying to find an Xbox copy of Metaphor to pick up. We already talked about Agatha all along. Once again, we all absolutely loved it, and that was just an amazingly well done show. The other show I've been watching is Lower Decks. This is sadly much like What We Do in the Shadows, the final season of what feels like shouldn't be the final season. There's so much more it could do, and it could continue beyond 5 seasons. But they had to shove, like, in the beginning of the show, there's a space fight that keeps happening, and every season it gets worse. So the first season was like the Borg and the Romulans, and then the second season it added in like the crystalline entity and all these different creatures. So this last one they had to shove like 7 seasons worth of references in there. So you got everything from the whale probe to the giant green space hand from original series to the freaking Voyager thing coming in, or Voyager. It's so over the top. It's hilarious. But we're 3 episodes in on that one, and I'm really enjoying it. Lastly, our friend Insomniac, I got to finally introduce him to Mario Party because he'd never played it before.
And you're still friends?
Yeah, to sum it up, at the end of our first game playing it, he just looked at me and went, well, that was some bullshit. And I went, and that's Mario Party. Because I went from 4th place to 1st right at the end, which was great.
Bonus stars, yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah, it was that and some other stuff. He was just like, well, damn it. But he had fun with it. We're going to play it some more. Hopefully he'll eventually pick it up. Have any of you other guys gotten the new Mario Party Jamboree or even the last Mario Party?
Yeah, I've had the Jamboree one for a while.
I think I got the previous one. I think.
We really should get on there and play more because it works well. It's
I don't have Jamboree.
Yeah, we both got it as well.
Nice. Well, if you eventually get Jamboree, it's been really good, but we can still play Superstar, I think is the last one.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
Yeah. So
we got Jamboree.
You don't have Superstar as well? Okay. We all have Nintendo Switch Online, so we all have the N64 ones. I guess we could do those too. All right. So that's pretty much what we've been doing, and we're going to hop into the news because this has been an interesting week, just to say, I guess. So let's start it off. So first off, Sony has decided to close down Firewalk Studios and Neon Koi. So if you were hoping for Concord to come back, you're shit out of luck. I kind of wish I'd gotten a hold of one of those, Steven.
The only way it's going to come back now.
You can't even do anything with it.
I still want to see if I can install it and at least play not play, but the video of the opening, because I wanted to record it just for that series I was doing, but I don't even know if it'll do that. So they decided...
You probably put it in and it's like, this game cannot play because...
Yeah.
So...
Sony's going to treat Concord like Nintendo treats the Virtual Boy. Never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
So it'll be at a museum only. Okay.
That or show up in Tamagotchi Life somehow.
Wah, 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 wah.
Pretty much. So Firewalk, Sony purchased them less than 2 years ago, and this was the first game they were going to put out. So I get that it was a failure, but there was so much work put into it. They could have turned around and used that for something. But they just kind of cut and run from that. And during the decision to do that, they decided to also shut down Neon Koi, which was working on a lot of their mobile games.
Which didn't announce anything. So they didn't have anything ready yet.
They're like, you know what? While we're doing this, let's just go ahead and cut you too. Sony is learning the lesson that their whole push, they had 8 games as a service going at one time, and that was a very bad idea.
One guy from the financial meetings has a PowerPoint of all their companies that were making IP for them that they own, and he's putting red X's and seeing it's like a bingo card how many are dying.
Oh, yeah, it's not the brightest move from Sony, I don't think. I know Concord was a complete flop in many ways, but like I said, I thought something could come from it, because even giving him a chance to learn from that and make something else might have been more profitable than just shutting him down and losing years of development time and everything. I don't know, because I know the people over at Blizzard were talking about the team that made Overwatch completely bombed on the game they made right before it. So they went from a massive failure to a massive success in just one attempt because they were given a chance to do it. So I just kind of wonder if they're missing out on that, but I don't know. I think Steven, you were the only one that actually played any Concord.
I downloaded it.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody else just kind of heard about it and that was it. Yeah. So from one bad announcement to a very surprising good one, let's start off with a Nintendo Direct that never was, yet the month of announcements that, what the hell? Rachel looks like she wants to scream this. So you know what, Rachel, do it. Just say it. Say what you want. Go for it.
Listen, okay, so the other day, Nintendo was just like, surprise! We're dropping Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition on the Switch, March 2025. Finger guns. And I literally, it came up, and one of my friends sent it to me. Like, I think
thought
you
it was
guys
a
were talking.
joke when I first saw it.
You guys were talking about it. I sent it, and I was just like, did I manifest this? Because y'all know, Steven.
Not everything is that, but
no, listen, I have been talking about it pretty consistently on the show for months. And I think, Steven, you and I have had conversations about it too.
I was even streaming it still.
Like we had it on the show and we would talk about it every now and then. All of us would. And all those, I've said, hey, I just don't get why they don't put it on the Switch. I was playing it the other day on my Wii U. I broke my Wii U out of its box because I had no reason to play it, and I just got a hankering to play this. And then all of a sudden, boom, there it is. It's going to include updated art assets. There's going to be new story sections, which I'm just like, wow, okay.
They're basically doing like they did with Xenoblade, original Xenoblade, when they remade it and they added the extra story to it.
Yeah, they added extra stuff in, I guess, that was supposed to be in there originally, and more. And it wasn't announced as a direct, but the trailer just was like, shadow drop, no warning, nothing. It was just like, surprise. And then there's gonna be a 14-day free trial for Nintendo Switch Online, and the game is listed as having a 1 to 32 player online, online multiplayer, which is about what it was when it was on the Wii U.
I don't remember.
I never played it with other people.
I don't remember any of the multiplayer for that. That's what threw me off. But
so it did exist. That was one of the big things. And
I went back and had to pull out my copy, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I had the nice art. But when you flip it over, it does say that it's online multiplayer, and I was like, oh well, shit. Steven, you had something?
Yeah. So a funny thing, which is like 2 bits of news happened that day. It says here, in 2018, Monolith Soft Chief Creative Officer Tetsuya Takahashi talked about Xenoblade Chronicles X. The future at present is unclear. Personally speaking, I'd love to play the game on the Switch, but it would be really difficult to make it. It's a massive game. Recreating it would be really difficult and cost a lot of money. Well, Nintendo found a way.
So clearly, when that was said, somebody somewhere at Nintendo went, all right, I'll take that challenge.
And the other piece of news that came out was the producer, creator of the Smiling Man, Emio. He was just like, we're not closing the door. I have more stories ready to go. So he's like, the series isn't ending yet. So he's just like, I don't know when they'll come out, but he's got more. They're not closing the book yet.
But my real question is, guys, what game do you want me to manifest next?
Snatcher for modern consoles.
Okay.
I get he wants that. Yeah, okay.
That should be a big question one of these episodes. What game would you like Rachel to manifest?
Send us an email of what games you want me to manifest next. Maybe comments, put it in the Discord.
Mine's easy. I just want Super Putty for Super Nintendo. Just put it on the Nintendo Switch Online. I'd be fine with that. Just let me play it again.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fun game. Weird one. But yeah, this whole month, like I was joking that in October, it's trick or treat season. We all wanted the treat of a Switch 2 release, but Nintendo's like, nope, here's all the tricks. We're just going to announce all this stuff that feels like they should be in a direct or together as a direct, and none of it happened.
I'm just saying, they don't want to spend the money on putting a direct together with all of those fun transitions and edits and all of that kind of thing. They just don't want to do it.
I mean, it comes off though, like for Xenoblade Chronicles X, like people were thinking it wasn't even real because it was just kind of dropped. They're like, it's so out of left field. And then our next announcement here was also kind of a confusing but fun one that's led to weird reactions from people. I got called a bootlicker for it. All right, so Nintendo announces and surprise drops Nintendo Music for iOS and Android. This is basically their own streaming and download ability for Nintendo specific soundtracks. You can stream them, you can download them, you can extend their times for certain periods of time, like where you can
I love that option.
play this. Yeah, you can say play this for an hour and it'll extend it out, because a lot of game music, they design it where it can be looped for however long, so it just extends it naturally.
I love that feature, by the way. I wish that more music services would somehow figure out how to do that. I hope they continue to add other stuff to it as well. Listen,
we just did
today.
Yeah, they just dropped. Well, I know they dropped stuff, but there's one thing I want them to add. Do you remember that 20th anniversary Zelda concert CD that came with Skyward Sword?
Yeah, I have it.
I do too. Do you know the Gerudo Valley song on that one?
Mm-hmm.
That music slaps. It needs to be on here.
They haven't done any live music yet. I don't know if they're going to. I hope they do. But
I don't see why they wouldn't. Related.
I don't know. But so, you can create and share your own playlist. They also have their own playlist. And it seems like they're going to be adding music at some pace as they go along. Super Mario Wonder dropped on there surprisingly Friday. That was added in. There's some games missing that people were surprised by, like Mario 64 is not on there yet. Tears of the Kingdom is not available. I mean, they'll come out. It's just
if they put Super Mario Sunshine soundtrack on there, it's all over.
It's gonna be super chill. That'll be music you really want to have play for a long time. And just chill
that I will literally turn one of those songs on in my car on my way to work, turn it all the way up, roll the windows down, and everyone else has to suffer.
So I have to say, is people were complaining about this and saying how terrible of an idea is and how anti-consumer this is, and that, as I said before, I was like bootlicker to Nintendo for giving in and accepting that they'll give.
I thought you were off of X. What are you getting called a bootlicker
on Threads? Actually, it was kind of funny.
Uh-oh.
You know where those people are from. Those people are from Twitter, and they haven't either been run off of Threads by all the Threads people, or they're just assholes.
Yeah. So their argument is that Nintendo would have been better or more consumer friendly if they had put all this music on Spotify and just made a little bit less money or paid money to do it so that everyone can have it convenient for them. And they didn't like the fact that you have to have a Nintendo Switch Online account to use this app, which, mind you, it's not the expansion pack, which it very well could have been. It's just Nintendo Switch Online, which for most people is about $20 a year.
A year
for Spotify,
that a month half the time.
For Spotify, babies. If you don't want to pay for ads, it's like $12 a month.
Poor babies, big cry babies. Oh,
the app is fine. People, get the hell over it. It is. Nintendo didn't have to give this. Well, my other thing, so Nintendo did not raise the price. They just dropped this as an extra bonus. I was like, these are the kind of people, they would get a surprise bonus check at work and then bitch about it somehow. They find a way to be like, this is terrible. They're ripping us off. And it's like, you were given stuff for free.
Hey, guess what, fans or non-fans of Nintendo Online? I just renewed mine, but I have 8 people in my group, so it's 8 divided by $80. So $10 a year, and everybody gets the expansion pack.
I updated mine for it was $80, and I just pay for everyone's. I don't care.
Listen, Nintendo really went Happy Halloween and then dropped a bunch of crap.
I look at it this way.
You have to watch the trailer, though. The trailer is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because one guy goes grocery shopping with the Wii Shop channel on his phone.
I didn't see that. Oh my God, that's great. So I tell people, like, Nintendo could shut the service down tomorrow. Just be done with it, go away with it, and I would still not feel ripped off about it, because Halloween night, after I went trick-or-treating with Jennifer, and we were driving back, I had it playing in my car. It's not fully integrated, but I can at least play, and it'll be connected and play through there. And we had an entire sing-along of Jump Up Superstar, just windows down, bellowing out, singing this, just me and her, because she absolutely loves that song, and so do I, on our way home. And I'm like, you know what, for that, the memory of that, I don't give a damn. I don't care what you call me. I'm happy this has been here. I'm good. Is this available? I think this is available worldwide to download, isn't it? Are you able to get it, Chase? Or
I haven't tried yet, so I'll have to get back to you on that.
I I have to find the screenshot somebody took, but somebody showed their ranking of the music apps, and it's above Spotify.
You know what? As someone who has Spotify, I'm not surprised.
The way I look at this, though, Nintendo released it as an extra for the Nintendo Switch Online. They didn't charge for it like they could have. They didn't make it a paid app. They're not running ads on it. That's, surprising. It is completely ad free. And they make it as a bonus to that. So I don't see a point of complaining with this. And they don't have to worry about other companies' control. Spotify could change the rules on something. They can have another event happen where people get upset and, they don't want to get wrapped up in that. They probably don't want people putting their music into whatever they name all these little playlists that people will see. They want to have control over it, but they let people actually use it. Hopefully they won't trickle out the music slowly. They can put good chunks on there, but at least
the fact that they've already added something like 3 days later is promising.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. People want to call me whatever. I don't care.
And if Spotify had this, I apologize, but whoever has the patent, do you have the patent, Nintendo? Whoever has the patent on the extend this song feature is amazing.
Yeah, I think with that, I don't think you can do that on normal music because like you can maybe have it make a playlist that's a certain time, but to actually extend the music out properly is kind of a video game only thing. If you think about it,
it really depends.
Like Shop Channel and make it an hour, and I was like, that's beautiful.
So any like film soundtrack, you could do it with probably any film soundtrack or any video game soundtrack where you can cause it to loop, but most film ones also kind of have a natural looping structure because of the fade out at the end. Much like video games do, just in case, because they have to take into account any of the songs in a film soundtrack could possibly be used for a menu music on the DVD or Blu-ray. So
that's a more modern issue. Yeah,
that's a kind of a thing to think about. But
I actually hadn't thought about that.
It's kind of harder with actual with songs with words that are just produced. I mean, you could do it
a set amount of time. They're not meant
you
to
could do it, but it would just be like repeat this song, and it'll sound like it's playing on a loop. But that's only if the artist in question has programmed that natural kind of fade in, fade out. But
so let me ask you this, Rachel, of what Nintendo game, actually I ask all of you to think about this. What Nintendo game do you want added that's not there right now? Just one favorite pick. So Rachel, I'll start with you.
I mean, I kind of said it earlier, Super Mario Sunshine.
There you go. Steven?
I don't know if it's on there yet, but I would like just all of the Super Smash Brothers series.
Oh yeah.
No,
because that is a who's who of composers.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they would just do that as a playlist. I don't know. Chase, what about you?
They probably could.
Yeah.
Smash Bros. Mario 64, and probably some of the Mario Karts as well.
I mean, Mario Kart 8 is great on there. The older ones would be good too. I would like to have Chibi Robo. It's kind of just chill, relaxed music as you're exploring the house, and I think it'd be kind of fun to add it.
I'm surprised Electroplankton's not already on there.
Well, I'm also surprised because they released it right around Halloween that we didn't get Luigi's Mansion of any form. Like that would have been great music for the holiday, for Halloween. So, all right, let's move on to our last bit of Nintendo news. All right, so if you liked Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, it is going away, but all hope is not lost. So it's being replaced with an offline version that will go up for sale soon as the game sunsets on November 28th. So you've got till the end of this month to play and do what you want to online, but it'll go away from that point. So the game's going to sell for $20, but they will offer it for $10 for those that get it during the first month it's available. So once that comes up, I think you have until sometime in January because it's supposed to release in December. That you can just get it for $10 and have it. Your game save data will be transferred over to the offline version once purchased. And then, they'll have the seasonal events and stuff like that as part of the app. So you can still go in and do those. You just can't share stuff with other people or connect with other people. So it's kind of becoming your own offline thing. But
you
at
can
least
still
it's
have
something.
your friends appear in your area. There's a special new area they're making that'll have all your friends that carry over. You really can't do too much with them except for just see who they have selected as their favorite villager.
Right.
And they have added more events that they'll just keep going. But I would like to say, this is how you should do things like this. Is if you're going to turn off servers, but people like it and a lot of people play it, you should just, yes, it's one less cash grab for people who want to be skeptical about it. But another game that people are really sad about, but they wished it would take the same freemium approach as this, is Simpsons Tapped Out. People loved that city building game from The Simpsons. They loved so much about it, and that's just shutting down. And people are like, why can't you just rework it? Like, we've seen so many. This is just another, this time mobile, microtransaction game that's being retooled to just be, own it. That's it.
So, there's another online game from a franchise we won't speak of, that they've recently are shutting down, I guess, the US servers, but the Asia servers are still going strong. And it will still run. You had the opportunity, of course, to transfer your account from that to the other. But nobody knew that you could do this really because they didn't really talk about it.
Messaging people.
Now everybody is really ticked off about it, of the people who played. I played it a little bit. It's fun, but I didn't get very far. I'm sure I would have had more fun if I got more deep into the story. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why I hate like app games like that have to run off of servers. Like just make a game. Like, I get it. It's microtransaction, it's a cash grab, but damn.
Well, another one I would like to do. What was it? What was the Mario Runner they did? Because you could play
Super Mario Run.
Super Mario Run. I hope that they eventually do something like this with that, because that is a game I found out after buying it, you cannot play it offline. It will not even start if you're not on there, because I was on a plane and I was like, well, I got my iPad out. Let me play a little bit of that. I haven't messed with it too much. And it's like, won't connect. It's like, what the shit? I paid for this. It's a single player game. So
maybe it's because it needed to update, because there's they did a lot of updates to promote Wonder and stuff like that in there.
Well, even after I updated it, it still will not let you play unless, because I have to make a hotspot.
I could see them eventually turning that one just offline too.
I hope
so. The only question they didn't answer
with
the Animal Crossing is, can I still get my Nintendo points?
Probably not. That's probably ending. So, all right, let's move on to what not to do with microtransactions in the worst possible way. So Ubisoft, good old Ubisoft, you done up, guys. They've quietly launched Champions Tactics Grimoire Chronicles, which is a full-on NFT game. And I know that's a term we all just love to hear about.
No fucking thanks.
Yep, thank you. So the game requires an Ubisoft account, no surprise, but also a compatible crypto wallet. And while there's already a store full of microtransactions figurines that you can buy, this trips me out. They have one that is $63,000. There's a microtransaction in a fucking mobile game that costs almost as much as my house. Like, we paid about $89,000 for this house. We got lucky and got it at the low end of the market like 20 years ago, and we've been paying off for it. So I could pay more than we probably owe for this house right now to get a little fake fucking figurine for a Ubisoft cell phone game that's probably going to shut down in a month. And this is not the first time Ubisoft has tried pushing NFTs in their games. They failed with the earlier Ubisoft Quartz, which I think we talked about like a year ago, with their digits that you could do. And then they tried to push those into Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and that completely flopped. I guess you could bring in your characters or weapons and so forth, but it's very telling that they're still trying to do NFT games and how quietly they tried to launch this, because they knew how much shit they were going to get from people if there was no big trailer, no big announcement, nothing like that. So, who else is getting this game?
Why would I ever do that? What in anyone who in their right mind would purchase something like this? Like, I'm sorry, when NFTs came about, I literally okay, I'm gonna drop an F-bomb, Jeremy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who the
You are
fuck is
clear.
that? Who the fuck is that stupid? That's the first thing that I thought. Like what? At what level of stupidity do you reach? Do you have to think that this is a good idea?
There's two people who do it: Twitch streamers and YouTube content creators.
Well,
as they run more money than they
run a couple ads and they can afford that $63,000.
As somebody, like, I'm just talking NFTs in general. Also,
Yeah.
Terrible for the environment, I might add. But I stream on Twitch. I maybe get about 1 to 2 average viewers on all my streams, and I'm broke. I don't got any money. I'm not gonna buy this, and I'm wicked smart. Who? Why? Who thought that was a good idea? Ubisoft, you're dumb. Anyway,
people are like, well, this is no different than people that buy Pokemon cards. Like, yeah, you get to keep the damn cards, and if you get a card you don't like, you could sell it, you could give it to somebody, you could just throw it, whatever. It's a real thing.
Also, like, you can make some serious money selling Pokemon cards just by going to a store and buy a random pack, and you might pull something worth some crazy crap. So. And that's physical, tangible stuff that you can hold on to and touch with your fingers. You can't touch an NFT. An NFT is an enigma.
Yeah, wrapped in a mystery.
Not even wrapped in a mystery. It's wrapped in stupidity.
I can agree with that.
So,
I mean,
there you go.
$63,000 still trips me the hell out.
You know what I could do.
Car doesn't cost that much.
Do you know what I could do with $63,000?
Buy an NFT.
A whole hell of a lot more than that.
I could fly to your house, Steven, slap you for that comment, fly back, and still have money left over for vacation.
Exactly. Exactly.
I can then fly down and slap Chase just for the fun of it.
Chase could buy one PS5 Pro.
Yeah. Listen, guys. Listen, listeners, or watchers, or whoever is consuming this content. If you haven't already guessed, we don't like NFTs on here on this show.
We don't.
We really don't.
We don't like NFTs. We don't like Skull and Bones. We don't.
Nope. There are a few things that we just really don't like here.
The only NFTs I like are Nintendo featured titles.
Yes, that is the only thing.
We love Kirby.
And Chows.
Chows are great. Oh, can you imagine a Chow game with Kirby's?
Ooh. You need to email somebody about that.
I'd be thinking more Pikmin.
Ooh, you need to email somebody about that.
Why not all of them? Yeah. So yeah, Ubisoft, you announced and released this apparently after you announced that you shut down the Prince of Persia team, who made an absolutely fantastic game. Yet somehow you're still making Beyond Good and Evil 2. This is not going to help you pay for either of those. So,
and you disbanded that team and put them on other projects on the day that you released a thing on your own news blog saying Prince of Persia is making a double comeback.
I got that email and was like, "Oh my god, are you kidding me?" And it even featured that game. That's what pissed me off. I was like, "You."
So, but at least the good news is they didn't let anybody go. They just said you're working on other stuff and you'll never work on Prince of Persia again.
I wonder how many of them got stuck on this stupid NFT game or like, what did I do to you?
They want to see if they can make it fail faster than Concord. It's a new race.
Oh, that's truly a race to the bottom. All right, move on to our last story for tonight. So, Russia seems to have a problem with Google, and it's led to a 20 decillion fine because Google blocked some YouTube accounts. So Russia apparently got upset because Google took down a couple of their YouTube channels that were sending out misinformation and a bunch of other stuff, as they rightfully should have removed those for what they were trying to do. So Russia got pissy about it and decided to fine them. And then every day that fine would increase and grow. So I know I have it on the sheet, so I'm not going to ask you guys because it's not fair. You kind of could see the answer, but a decillion is a 20 followed by 33 zeros. That is many times over more money than exists in the entire world.
So thank you for telling me how many zeros are beyond that, because I don't do math well in my brain, so much appreciated. Also, it's no wonder that Google has not responded to this.
They're probably laughing, going like,
well, they're probably like, I think they're just trying to make a point and trying to scare us. And Google, may I remind people, the listeners, the watchers, whoever, that Google motto used to be, what was it? Don't be evil.
Yeah.
And then that motto just mysteriously disappeared. So I don't think Google's scared of Russia. I don't think so.
I keep thinking of Dr. Evil. It's like $20 decillion. It's like, that doesn't even make any sense. There's not that much money in the world.
Why? But why did they pick that when literally the number Google exists? That they could say, we're going to fine you $20 Google dollars, which is 1 followed by 100 zeros. It would have been just so poignant to be like, we're going to fine you 20 Google.
It may be up to that point by now, because apparently this has progressively been growing. Like, it started off as a couple of fines, and then it's been doubling and adding on ever since. And of course, every time you double it and keep going, it just goes past that point. So who knows what it could be at this point? Google had to have framed this email.
If this ever, for some weird reason, ever went to any type of court, to be a fly on the wall to see the lawyer read this.
I'd be like, no. You can't even pay it in pennies to be a total dick about it, because that much money doesn't exist. Like, it's just, they might as well just made up a word for numbers. Just whatever freaking term they wanted to come up with is about as sane as this can get. So, yeah. Good old Google.
Needless to say, though, Google has not responded, though.
Yeah. Though, if they increase the cost of like your YouTube Premium or other stuff, this might be why. They're just trying to increase the amount of money in the entire world to pay this. Or at least just to laugh about it. All right, so that's how I wanted to finish off the news for tonight. So we're going to jump into the big question for this week. All right, so with the recent Halloween season, do you have any memories of any scary games you have played, past or present? Steven, since you wrote this one in, I will start with you.
Okay, well, I actually have 2 generations of it.
Ooh.
One of them goes back to the Commodore 64.
Oh.
And there was a game called Forbidden Forest. One of those primitive pixel games, but just the fact that you're just in a forest, just having to kill different creatures, and the music really adds to the tension. And the fact that things are always faster than you, and you get to see them feast on you in pixelated blood and gore, was scary as a kid. As a teenager / adult, though, the 2 games that come to mind that messed with me, especially if you have either headphones or the proper sound system, was Condemned Criminal Origins.
Oh, that's such a good game.
We need a re-release of the first one. The second one sucks, but the first one was amazing. And there's actually some games on Steam that are like play like that, so I'm happy that it's making a comeback. And then the other one, of course, because it did a lot of atmospheric stuff, so I've been trying to, if my Xbox will stop crashing, I would like to try playing through the Dead Space remake, because the original Dead Space I played with surround sound in the dark, no noises whatsoever in the whole house. The house was quiet, so all you could hear was the creaking of the ship and everything.
No, thank you.
And it was perfect, because you just had that anxiety the whole time you were playing.
That remake, I did play through the entire thing, and it just fucked with your brain with the sounds. Like, they did such a good job on the surround sound. I do recommend playing it with headphones. It will mess with you if you don't have a good surround sound setup. All right, Chase, what about you?
Don't really play a lot of like scary games or anything, but I guess the 1 or 2 that come to mind is the original Dead Space. I played and loved that game. So good. I love the whole series, though. although it did progressively get less scary as you went through. But original Dead Space was great. I haven't played the remake yet. I own it. I just haven't played it yet.
Oh, good.
And then I also remember an in-person game night over at, I think it was our friend Evan's place, Swan, and we played one of the Dark Picture Anthology games.
Oh, those are
Which
ever
was-
good things.
Which was pretty good, and I'm pretty sure that was it Athena, our friend Athena, was the sole reason why Evan died. Because I think her character ended up beating his character over the head with a crowbar.
Yeah, we've played through, at least on here too, we've played through all of them except for we're at Devil in Me, so we're trying to get through that. And we just finished the other one they made called The Quarry, which was weird, but it was good.
I have
I've
that
heard
one, but I
about
haven't
The
played it
Quarry.
yet. Yeah, I haven't played
Quarry's
it yet.
good, but it's got some believability problems for me, but still good.
Okay.
Is the Quarry the one with like the Wendigo?
Yeah, that's the one
Wendigo.
that has
Wendigo,
Yeah.
Arquette in it. Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
and the
All
kid
right.
from Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice. So, Rachel, what about you? What's your answer to this question?
So, as you guys know, I don't play a lot of scary games. Like, in general, I don't. Now, I will watch other people play scary games, but I don't play them myself. That's just a thing, with few exceptions. So, I grew up. Well, you guys know I talk until I blue in the face about the Nancy Drew games, but there are some creepy parts in the Nancy Drew games. Like Message in a Haunted Mansion has some creepy parts. The Ghost of Thornton Hall has some creepy parts. Curse of Blackmore Manor also has some creepy parts. Like, it's designed to have little bits of creepiness without being super creepy. They did one that was on Japanese horror, which Shadows of Water Edge, and I grew up playing these games, so I'm very fond of them. And I played the spooky ones, the ones that are more spooky, around Halloween time growing up. However, when I was in high school, my friend Alicia was obsessed with Silent Hill. So I would go and hang out at her house, or she'd come and hang out at mine, and we'd play the Silent Hill games together. More so, she'd play and I would watch her, and I'd help her get through stuff, and we'd commentate and stuff like that. So that's a kind of a fond memory of playing a game like together. I have kind of a fond memory, more of a funny memory, of playing Outlast with my friend Travis. And he then made me play it, and I was not happy about that, because that was anxiety inducing.
Being made into a movie now.
Yeah, I heard. I'm not going to go see that. There's very few horror movies that I will go and watch. It's more of things that are more spooky vibes, or more of a thriller than an absolute horror. There's a weird disconnect. But no, it's more of playing like horror games with other people where I'm not necessarily playing, that I have like fond memories of. And like, I think almost a lot of like older games that are like very challenging, that are on the computer, a lot of them have spooky vibes. Like, I don't know about you guys, but Myst and Riven, some of the parts of those games were quite scary, at least for me when I was a kid. So Go on, Steven.
I just wanted to interject. The one thing that I liked about Condemned, which harkened back to classics for me, like Clock Tower, Haunting Ground, games like that, is the having to that somebody's coming.
Yeah,
like it's
that's
kind of
what
like
I don't
that
like.
body paralysis.
I don't like that.
So Clock Tower and Haunting Ground did somebody's coming for you. You can hear their footsteps, and while those did it in one way that you could see them coming, Condemned did it in a way, especially with surround sound, that made them sound like they were in your house upstairs, and they were swearing and breaking things, and they were going to come down to kill you. So it's one thing to show me monsters coming out of the woodwork or jump scares; those are cheap for me. But to have the audio quality scare you more than the visual quality is great.
I'm more of a spooky vibes type person than I am an outright like horror thing. Needless gore to me, I just find boring. Or most horror movies I find stupid because the characters are doing stupid stuff. So that's part of it too. But like, I'm trying to remember another instance. Like other games that are Halloweeny that I remember playing. Did you guys the I Spy Haunted House? Did you guys ever play that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, classic. So this skeleton traps you in his haunted house, and you then have to go through all of these puzzles and things to then get out of the house. And he has this really nasally voice, and it's yeah, and that's what I played. Like I played like that kind of silly, spooky things. And
Nice.
there was this, God, I don't even remember. I'll have to look it up. There was like a mini golf game that I played at school and during computer lab that had a haunted house level too. And I remember that. So
Nice.
I'll have to look that up. But that's it. That's
Okay.
my I didn't play horror very much, but that's what I remember. And that's my fond memories of spookiness.
Nice. All right. So for me, specifically has to be Resident Evil Code Veronica, because I played it in the freakiest scenario I could at the time. When I got my very first apartment, this one little, like, one bedroom, tiny place over in towards Rutherford High School. For those that are in Panama City, know where it's at. It's over on Helen Avenue. Building's still there, but it's glorified tiny house, like little spot that was in there. And it was my first time ever living by myself. I had jury rigged a stereo system and stuff together and put my Dreamcast in there. And this was, mind you, my first night ever doing this. It was also the first night I got Resident Evil Code Veronica on Dreamcast. And I'm sitting there trying to play it, absolutely loving the game, but getting freaked out by the game because I can't tell what noises it's making versus what new noises of this place I've never been in by myself for the first time, way past when I probably should have gone to bed. So it's super late. And I just remember being absolutely terrified just sitting there in the dark playing this game because, it's a whole new thing. I'd never done that before. And it still sticks with me. It's like, God dang it. The game's not even super that scary, but it still freaked me out. So that has to be the one for me for the most memories of any scary game. I've enjoyed a lot of other ones since then, and it does get kind of freaky playing out here in the game room by myself, especially with the surround sound and everything for a lot of games. But that's the one that, honest to God, I was kind of freaked out because I was just by myself for the first time. So, go ahead, Steven.
I do have a fun anecdote.
Yes.
I'm going to mention that property, by the way.
Okay.
But it was just that it's not supposed to be that scary of a movie. But one of my past cats, Stubby, bless his heart, was cuddling with my wife, and they were watching Harry Potter. I think it was the first one.
Okay.
And they, and basically just holding him in her arms, whatever, cuddling him. But for some reason, and he doesn't really ever do this, it took until the scene with Aragog and all the spiders that my Stubby decided to bite my wife, and he got chucked from the couch.
Oh my God.
So I was just like, out of all the movies, all the scenes, you pick one that she's terrified of. The only scene that people would be terrified of, I would think. And you decide to bite her.
Oh.
I'll always remember that as just like, you just took a scary movie to like 4D.
Oh, man. All right. So we'll go ahead and wrap that up. That just makes it easier for editing. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and call it for the night. Not too bad of a show for tonight. Just to remember, we are not going to have a show next week. The week after we'll come back, and that'll actually be episode 150 of this. So we should think of something fun for us to do. That's a lot of episodes. But if you are listening to this and you want to continue listening to it, you can find us anywhere you find your podcast. Just look for the Zenspath Entertainment Network podcast on there, on your podcaster of choice. Leave us a review, share it with friends, things like that. Helps us out a lot to be found on there. If you are listening and you want to watch the show, We do the video version over at youtube.com/ZenspathCom. So it's zenspath.com, but just without the period. Our viewership's actually kind of gone up a little bit recently, which has been nice. But we love getting your comments on there. Like, leave us your response to the big question underneath. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Leave us a thumbs up. Once again, subscribe to it. That helps us out a lot as well, and lets you know when we put up other stuff. Oh, Rachel looks like she has to say something.
Let me know what game I want to you need me to manifest next.
Yeah, seriously, that should be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can also look over at zenspath.com. That's where we have both the audio and the video versions of it, and where to contact us and so forth listed. You can find all of that in the show notes of the audio version or below the video in the show notes for the video. All right, this has been episode 149, and we're out. Peace.
Who wants an NFT of Concord?
Oh, that's actually probably still worth more and better for the environment. Also, go vote.